Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael again with the ALG Education team, joining you for our next webinar with the Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau. And it is my pleasure to welcome our very special guest today, Alexandra Roth. She's the Eastern Regional Director of Travel Industry Partnerships with Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau. So welcome, Alexandria. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. Before I hand things off to her, I just wanted to mention that we are going to have a few minutes at the end of this for questions and answers. So if you have any, submit them via the question panel on the left side of your screen there. Also, one more piece of good news. All of you in attendance will be entered into a drawing to win a 3-night stay for 2, including airfare. So good luck to all of you there. In the video that follows here, Alexandria will mention the pre-travel testing program start date of October 1st. It's actually October 15th, so don't let that confuse you. And then we'll follow it up with Alexandria live here in just a bit. So now I'll hand everything over to Alexandria to deliver today's workshop. Take it away, Alexandria.
Aloha everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on today's Hawaii Update workshop. My name is Alexandra Roth, and I'm the Eastern Regional Director with the Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau. Now, hopefully you all had a chance to listen to our Senior Director, Robin Basso's general session presentation as she covered a high-level overview of the Hawaiian Islands. On today's workshop, I'm going to go into more detail on Hawaii's current travel restrictions and a quick reopening update, but I primarily want to focus on our island highlights, talking about each island's brand personality, as well as some of the top attractions and activities. Then I will wrap up with some travel advisor resources on where you can learn more before turning it over to you for our Q&A session. Let's start by talking about COVID-19. Hawaii has a long tradition of welcoming visitors from around the world, and tourism is the state's #1 industry and economic driver. However, during these unprecedented times, we've continued to focus on the health and safety of our community, visitor industry employees, healthcare professionals, and our healthcare system. As a state, we've been focused on mitigating the spread of COVID-19 through our 14-day mandatory quarantine, which has been very strict. In fact, we've implemented a $5,000 fine or up to a year in jail for those who do not comply with the mandatory quarantine. Additionally, starting on September 1st, all visitors are now required to do a daily check-in online via our Safe Travels program. As a state, we've also implemented contact tracing and will be soon implementing a pre-travel testing program. Before we can transition to welcoming back visitors to Hawaii, we have to consider the current situation in the islands. Unfortunately, over the past month, Hawaii has been experiencing an increase in COVID-19 cases, which has resulted in further travel restrictions. The pre-travel testing program has been delayed to start at October 1st at the earliest, and we've also implemented an inter-island travel quarantine. Now, as we all know, the situation in Hawaii is constantly evolving, so I encourage you to go to gohawaii.com for travel updates. With the assumption that you'll be booking travel to Hawaii for future dates, let's talk more about the pre-travel testing protocols, which at this time are slated to begin on October 1st. When this program starts, travelers who take a COVID-19 test within 72 hours of departure and can present a negative result upon arrival in Hawaii can bypass the 14-day quarantine. Now, as we know, sometimes it takes longer than 72 hours for a test result to come back, in which case travelers still awaiting the result when they arrive must quarantine until they can provide a negative test result for COVID-19. Now keep in mind that no tests will be given on site upon arrival, so those who choose not to take a test in advance are subject to the full 14-day quarantine or will have to quarantine for the duration of their stay, whichever is shorter. Regarding the pre-testing guidelines, our governor and lieutenant governor are working closely with the Department of Health to finalize this process. But this is what we know today. As for the tests that are accepted, a nucleic acid amplification test from a certified clinical laboratory is required. All travelers will be required to test regardless of age, and tests will be at the expense of the travelers. As I mentioned, no tests will be given on-site upon arrival, so for clients who do not take a test in advance, they will have to quarantine for the full 14 days or the duration of their stay, again, whichever is shorter. For more, keep updated at gohawaii.com. In addition to the pre-travel testing protocols, you can rest assured that there are measures being taken at every step of the visitor's journey in Hawaii to ensure their safety and health. From the airlines to the airports to transportation, lodging, restaurants, retail, and finally attractions and activities. Now keep in mind, many activities and attractions are currently closed or not operating during the mandatory quarantine, and it's unclear when these activities will resume. So that was a brief update on some of the current travel restrictions to Hawaii. But as Hawaii begins its road to reopening, it's important for you as travel advisors to have a true understanding of what this destination offers. So let's move into our island highlights. Many people who have never been to Hawaii can have a limited knowledge and sometimes some misperceptions about the Hawaiian Islands. This word cloud represents feedback from a focus group of people who have never been to Hawaii. When asked what they thought, they responded with these words. Obviously, the larger the word, the more often it was said. So you see words like beaches, volcanoes, luau's, leis, surfing. These are great things, but they tend to be stereotypical things that many people associate with Hawaii. And it's our role to help dispel the stereotypes and misperceptions and open people's eyes to a truly unique and authentic Hawaii. We know that once travelers learn the unique story of Hawaii, they'll know why it's one of the most special places on the planet. And as travel advisors, you sell dreams. You help to create that narrative in the minds of your clients. So help us share the unique story of Hawaii with them. Now, the Hawaiian Islands truly offer so much more than sun, sand, and surf. We offer 6 distinct destinations, with each island having its own unique personality and landscape. Hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll have a better understanding of the uniqueness of each island, as well as how to match the right client with the right island or island combination that's best for them. Let's start with Kauai, the oldest and northernmost in the island chain. This island is known as the Garden Isle, and it's known for its natural beauty. So some words you can use to describe Kauai to your clients include lush, idyllic, peaceful, serene, immersed in nature, or endless shades of green. Naturally, those who are attracted to nature and the island's peaceful, immersive environment are attracted to Kauai. Those who want to escape the busyness of life or perhaps get away from the crowds, and those who want to relax and rejuvenate. Now keep in mind, rejuvenation can mean a lot of different things to different people. For some, it might mean having a relaxing spa treatment or laying on the beach, but to others, it might mean having a thrilling outdoor adventure. Whatever rejuvenation means to your clients, they can experience it here on Kauai. A fun fact about Kauai is that 80% of it is inaccessible by car, which means the best way to experience the beauty of this island is to engage in many of the outdoor activities. Keep in mind that many of these activities may be different as we begin to welcome visitors back to the islands, but some of the top attractions that we have here on this island include the beautiful Napali coast, 17 miles of mountainous shoreline along the northern coast of Kauai, which can typically be experienced by air or by boat. Or perhaps Waimea Canyon. This has been nicknamed the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, and it's truly a wonderful place to go and check out the lookout spots, to go for a quick hike, and just to take a nice deep breath. You can also experience a variety of activities, including ATV rides, zip lining, or mountain tubing on the island of Kauai. Next, let's talk about the island of Oahu, home to our capital city of Honolulu and of course the world-famous Waikiki Beach. Oahu is known as a vibrant mid-Pacific hub and is often known as the gathering place. Words used to describe the feel of Oahu are energy, vibrant, urban, contemporary, iconic, cosmopolitan town and country. So the guests that are attracted to Oahu tend to be active travelers. They're highly engaged, they relax by having fun, they tend to do their research and have a whole checklist of activities that they want to accomplish by the time they're done with their trip. They love nature and they also prioritize shopping, dining, nightlife, and festivals. Now, Oahu is home to our world-famous Waikiki Beach, which is actually known to be the legendary birthplace of surfing. This is a great place for novices to take a surfing lesson or enjoy other water activities with its gentle waters. Additionally, Waikiki is a fantastic place for shopping, dining, and nightlife. Another top attraction on Oahu is, of course, Pearl Harbor Historic Parks. Please keep in mind that Pearl Harbor is temporarily closed, but you can find updates at nps.gov/VALR. For some Hawaiian history and culture, I highly recommend Iolani Palace, where clients can experience the history of our ali'i, or royalty, and one of Hawaii's 3 royal palaces. Now, what's amazing about Oahu is that it truly offers a town and country experience. So I highly recommend that your clients are able to get out to the North Shore to experience the country ambiance and the charming towns like Haleiwa, which is great for shopping and dining. You can also go to Laie to experience the Polynesian Cultural Center. This is a fantastic place for first-timers to Hawaii to experience various Polynesian cultures as well as some awesome entertainment. Now, please keep in mind that the Polynesian Cultural Center is closed until January 2021. Now let's talk about the island of Maui, which offers a blend of sophistication and down-home appeal. Maui's personality is laid back, leisurely, great for social interaction. It's friendly, not contrived, and there are plenty of small towns for visitors to discover. I like to describe Maui as being sophisticated yet down to earth at the same time. So guests that are attracted to Maui tend to seek variety, choice, spontaneous adventures. They prefer to experience nature in a passive way, preferring soft adventure like laying on the beach or meeting local artisans. Most of all, they feel like their vacation shouldn't be too much work, so they want to go with the flow and not plan too much. In addition to the beautiful resorts, stunning beaches, and charming small towns, Maui offers a wide array of unique activities and experiences to showcase the island's beauty. One of the top attractions on this island include Haleakala, which means House of the Sun. It's a beautiful dormant volcano that stands at over 10,000 feet in elevation and is a very popular attraction. Now, Haleakala currently has limited access with a phased reopening. For more updates, you can find them at nps.gov/HALE. Now, humpback whales come to visit all of the Hawaiian Islands during our whale watch season, which is December through April, but they really like the calm, shallow channels between Maui and its sister islands. So if your clients are staying on this island, you may want to recommend a whale watching excursion or perhaps upsell to an oceanfront room. Another incredibly popular attraction on the island of Maui is the Road to Hana. Now, this 52-mile journey takes over 3 to 4 hours one way to get to Hana because there are 600 hairpin turns, 51 lane bridges, and of course beautiful views on both sides, as well as some charming places to stop along the way. Certainly your clients can take a rental car to do the Road to Hana, but there are many other tours that also will take your clients safely on this journey. Another great attraction to recommend is the Ali'ikula Lavender Farm for some great exploration in upcountry Maui. Now, the Ali'ikula Lavender Farm is currently open to the public on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I briefly want to talk about Maui's 2 sister islands, Molokai and Lanai, with you. These islands are both very rural, not a single traffic light on either one, but they take 2 very different types of clients. So first off, let's talk about Molokai, one of the world's most isolated and beautiful locations. Molokai can be described as rustic, rugged, unspoiled, natural, that old style of Hawaii. It's all about community and the simpler life here. This is for respectful, responsible visitors who want to learn about, understand, and experience a simpler way of life. A life that's rustic, unspoiled, and reminiscent of old style of Hawaii. Because it's natural and rustic, Molokai remains true to its island roots. This is where visitors can experience that old style of Hawaii and feel the Hawaiian culture and aloha spirit permeate from the central town of Kaunakakai to the rugged wilderness in a guided trek through the revered Halawa Valley. Next, we move to the opposite end of the spectrum with the island of Lanai, which is truly embracing. Here you have one luxury resort brand amidst an unspoiled environment of remote beaches, red dirt mountain trails, and pine forests. Lanai is kind of like your own private island. It's serene, secluded, refined, luxurious, with some room for soft adventure as well. This is great for high-end visitors who seek serenity and luxury with great possibilities for soft adventure and an active vacation. Most of all, though, they appreciate a quiet, serene, and private lifestyle. As the smallest inhabited island, Lanai offers an escape from it all. You can indulge in world-class amenities, wellness retreats, and championship golf, or just spend the morning exploring local shops in Lanai City. Finally, we have our largest and youngest island, the island of Hawaii, nicknamed the Big Island because it's twice as large as the other islands combined. Fun fact of this island is that it's so geologically diverse, it is home to 10 out of the Earth's 14 climate zones. Words to describe the island of Hawaii include living culture, accessible, active exploration, boundless, volcanoes, and because of its geological diversity, you're really going to see those saturated blues, greens, and blacks. So visitors that are attracted to the island of Hawaii tend to be active, adventurous. They have an insatiable curiosity. They're looking for those unique and unusual adventures that they can't get anywhere else. And they tend to be very curious and interested in learning about history, culture, and natural wonders that create that experience of a lifetime. The island of Hawaii offers some of the most unique sites and activities of anywhere on Earth. One of those sites is the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, which is a 230,000-acre park where clients can visit Kilauea Volcano and see and learn about the impact of the newest flow from 2018, which added over 900 acres of new land to the island of Hawaii. Here they can also enjoy over 150 miles of hiking trails as well as experience a variety of other activities. Another natural wonder on the island of Hawaii is Mauna Kea, or Snow-Capped Mountain. This is a world-renowned place for astronomy, and visitors can experience stargazing tours, although currently not operational, as well as land-based stargazing opportunities at select hotels and resorts. Now, most of our hotels and resorts on this island are on the west side of the island, where you can also experience a variety of activities and attractions, including coffee farms, where you can find our world-famous Kona coffee. Now, clients can even roast their own Kona coffee and truly get a taste of Hawaii. Now, over on the east side of the island, which is known for its lush tropical landscape, clients can visit tropical botanical gardens, as well as a number of spectacular waterfalls, including Rainbow Falls and Akaka Falls, pictured here. Now, as you can see, the Hawaiian Islands are so much more than sun, sand, and surf. These islands truly offer unlimited, surprising experiences for all types of travelers. And there may be more to Hawaii than you or your clients have heard about. As much as I've covered in this workshop today, I've only just scratched the surface of what Hawaii can offer for your clients. So I want to wrap up by sharing with you some valuable travel advisor resources on where you can learn more. As the Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau, our role is to support you as travel advisors by providing you with destination information, sales and marketing resources, and education and training so that you can better sell Hawaii to your clients. The best source for statewide and island-specific information is our website, agents.gohawaii.com. On the site, you can get destination information to keep updated on what's happening with the Hawaiian Islands, from updates on COVID and post-COVID travel policies to new developments in destination, from hotel renovations, air service, updates on new activities and attractions, and highlights of local festivals and events. You can also sign up in your profile for our statewide or island-specific newsletters to ensure you're always updated on everything happening in Hawaii. The website also offers important cultural resources, including our Ma'ema'e Hawaiian Cultural Toolkit, as well as a Hawaiian language audio dictionary. We also provide valuable sales and marketing resources, including the print and downloadable versions of our statewide and individual island vacation planners, as well as trifold maps. We also have added downloadable itinerary maps that you can print on demand. These maps have the island map on one side and key attractions on the other. They are also fillable in a PDF form, so you can add your own comments and itinerary recommendations for your clients before printing them out. And if you're putting together a client presentation or perhaps a marketing piece like your next email blast, I highly recommend accessing our marketing toolbox with thousands of images searchable by island or keyword, as well as some logos and videos. We also have top 10 itineraries by client type or by island, as well as a festivals and events listing. Now, of course, we believe that education is key. So our agent website includes 6 online certifications, and you can take all of these courses online. They're complimentary, mobile compatible. You can start and stop whenever you need, and they're audio narrated as well. Now, you can also test out of Certification 1 if you may have taken it a while back, or if you feel very confident in selling Hawaii. Once you've completed certifications 1 and 2, you are considered a Hawaii destination specialist, and you get exclusive benefits, including consumer referrals on GoHawaii.com, a subscription to Hawaii Magazine, use of our Hawaii Destination Specialist badge or logo, as well as continuing education credits with a travel institute and more. Those who have completed all 6 of our courses are considered Hawaii destination experts and will have access to our self-guided fam organizer called Imiloa or Explore Hawaii. This offers year-long access to travel advisor discounts for accommodations, activities, and transportation. And before we move into our Q&A, I just want to say mahalo nui loa. Thank you all so much for your support of the Hawaiian Islands and for everything that you do. Here's my email address in case there's a question that I won't be able to answer or if you need to reach out to me. And with that, let's move into our Q&A.
Okay, Alexandra, thanks so much for a wonderful presentation, and I really appreciate you sharing all those great resources for everybody, especially since we're always so short on time for Q&A. That's a place where everybody can go. Remember, GoHawaii.com for a lot of that content. And we got a lot of questions come in on the pre-travel testing program, so we'll ask a few about that as long as we've got a little bit of a few minutes left here at the end here. We had a question come in earlier about, for those that are awaiting the test result after arrival, how is that notification of a positive or a negative test result made? How is that communicated to them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And one thing that I forgot to mention in my presentation is that, well, I kind of did mention it. All travelers starting September 1st do have to fill out a form online through the Safe Travels program. That's at travel.hawaii.gov, and that will be continuing through the time period when we have the pre-travel testing program as well. So this is actually where you can go to upload your negative test information. Of course, when you're arriving in Hawaii and you have a hard copy document, you can just bring that as well, and they will upload that to your profile. So that makes it easy for you. It's essentially your way of reporting to the Department of Health that you have taken your COVID-19 test, you've gotten the results, and you've now uploaded it to that travels.hawaii.gov website.
All right, perfect. And as travel advisors, we all know that when you visit Hawaii, you like to explore the island, of course. Are there any recommendations that you have for someone that is out exploring? Are there things that they need to consider now that we're in this COVID era and we have to have all these other considerations?
Absolutely. You know, even when you're traveling to Hawaii, masks are required, social distancing is required. So things may look a little different as far as excursions and activities and attractions to be able to accommodate for social distancing. But I think this is the new world that we're starting to become used to living in. So of course, it might be a little bit of an inconvenience, but you'll still have a wonderful vacation experience.
Okay, thank you for that. And just to piggyback on that last question, several of our itineraries involve island hopping from one island to the next island. So do you require just one test to cover all of that, or do you have to get separate tests for each jump?
So actually, as of right now, that is something that is currently being worked on with the county mayors and the governor as far as a pre-travel test for inter-island hopping. If your first destination is an island, say outside of Oahu, and you're going pretty much directly there, but traveling through Oahu, I believe your pre-travel test will count for that. But if you're in between your trip, for instance, switching over to another island, right now, I believe the governor and mayors are currently working so that you can, either have that one test count for it, or if you have to take another test. But as of right now, the inter-island quarantine is still in place. Now, things change minute by minute, week by week, as we all know. The time that I filmed this video, the date for the pre-travel testing program was October 1st. Now it's officially October 15th. And today the governor gave his okay one more time to start that. So traveling inter-island may very well change in the next coming weeks and months.
All right, perfect. And while we're on the subject of dates, is there an end date to the pre-travel testing established yet?
No, there has not been an end date established, and we've been working really hard to get this even started. So I believe this is probably going to go on for a considerable amount of time until, the situation changes.
All right, thanks. Now we'll move on to some more fun things to talk about. You mentioned the specialist program. Is that something that a travel advisor would need to take every year, or is it a one-time thing?
No, this is actually not a test that you need to take or a certification that you need to take every year. Once you've taken it, you are certified. However, if you've taken it before 2015, we do ask that you recertified because we have overhauled our program since then. Of course, it's always great to get a refresher, however, so you can certainly go back in and take it as many times as you'd like to.
Yeah, and I've seen the program and it's fantastic. So I really encourage everybody to check it out. We got a question from Kelly. She's asking, is Volcano National Park open right now?
Yes, it is currently open, although there is limited access for certain visitor services in certain areas. And I will say for the parks and attractions, I would recommend going onto their individual websites because it's all very different between various attractions. For Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, if you'd like to learn more, their website is nps.gov/HAVO.
Okay, and another question from Tracy. She's asking, any chance of bringing back the free lay greeting for clients for Maui Nui Destination Master Specialists? I hope I pronounced that right.
That is a good question. That is something I'm unfortunately not familiar with, and I'm not sure if that's going to be coming back anytime soon.
Okay, and then as far as the restaurant situation, specifically in Waikiki, we got a question from Laura. She's wondering, are all of the restaurants opened or have they cut back a little bit? Any restrictions there?
Yes, and actually there were some new restrictions that were just announced last night by the Honolulu mayor in regards to the capacity for restaurants. Restaurants are open at limited capacity. However, bars are not open. And of course, these are constantly changing. So prior to your client's trip, I would recommend checking again. And then also perhaps checking with individual restaurants or places as we move forward, it's going to be really difficult to say how many businesses will be able to remain open, how many have already closed. So it all kind of varies depending on where your clients would like to go.
All right, thank you for that. And now we'll move on to excursions. Are there any restrictions there, any cutbacks there?
That's something that I know A3H, the Association for Our Activities, they are working with a lot of the activity partners to establish protocols, health and safety protocols, so that they can operate while practicing social distancing. There are, certain restrictions with the number of people who can gather. And so that will definitely influence the way that some of these activity partners operate. However, it does vary by each company.
Okay. Getting back to testing, Nanette had a question. In the United States, they will test in San Francisco for flights to Hawaii. Will those rapid tests be accepted?
Yeah, and that's actually a very exciting piece of news that we just got today. So United Airlines is partnering with Hawaii, and so their flights from originating in San Francisco to Hawaii, they are offering rapid tests. They are also partnering with Color, which will allow you to take basically a mail-in test. So you can go to United's website to learn more about that. However, keep in mind, these are flights that are originating from San Francisco to Hawaii. So I don't think if you have a connection from a farther destination that you can get that rapid test during your connection. So you may want to split up the trip, but they are working with the Hawaii governor to make sure that rapid test is approved.
All right, perfect. Thanks. And Phyllis had asked myself a question. She's wondering if the Travel Protection Plus program that is part of what ALG vacation brands sell with their packages, whether or not that covers any COVID-related costs if they were maybe, diagnosed with this in the destination. And I reached out to our expert, Carrie Ladua, and she mentioned that it will cover if they test positive or if they are required to quarantine up to the limits of the medical coverage. So I just wanted to make sure I communicated that. We are at the bottom of the hour, but I didn't want to leave everybody without at least giving you a chance to wrap things up and share anything that we may have missed.
Well, I just want to say, thank you so much for this opportunity. We're really excited to welcome people back to Hawaii very soon. And feel free to chat with me or any of our Hawaii representatives at the trade show booth, and we'd be happy to answer more questions for you all.
Yeah, those chat rooms have really been a valuable resource. We've so limited on time for questions, but I want to thank everybody for the wonderful questions that they shared with us today. A big special thank you to you, Alexandra, for sharing your time and expertise with us. It was a really a well done presentation, so I want to thank you for that. Thanks to everybody for showing up to this workshop too. So be sure to enjoy all the fabulous opportunities we have in store for you for the rest of Ascend, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Bye, aloha. Thank you.
Take care.